Hey everybody, how you doing? Sixx here again, and today I just wanted to say, first and foremost, thank you very much to those that reached out and supported us a little bit last week when I was talking about, when I was whining actually, and just so you know, I don't do that very often. But you will find, if you would take a look at our playlists and our videos, you'll see that this channel actually covers a lot of stuff. Sweet and I are musicians, and we tour and play music, and we write our original music, and it's kind of a bohemian blues kind of thing, and we also have an organization called Blues Against Hunger. That's only one thing. The other thing is that we are carnivores. Our diet and the way that we eat and the things that we do are related to carnivore. We also live in Mexico, and we're expats down here and been here for, matter of fact, Mom even said so this morning. We've been here 20 years coming up next year. It'll be 20 solid years of living here full time. But you know what? What I'm here about today is to say thank you to those that helped us and supported us, because it made a world of difference. It really did. It got us through to where we are now, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you for doing that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about fasting today. We had some good suggestions in the comments when I was complaining about not having anything, not having any money, not having any food, and being a carnivore without any, all that kind of stuff. It's just a bad day at the time, and I apologize for that. But I had some great suggestions, one of which was fasting. And I just want to say that fasting is something that's crucially important to us. We have been fasting for a long time. As a matter of fact, fasting came before carnivore for us. The thing that actually got us and led us into keto and then into carnivore was intermittent fasting. So we started out and simply by intermittent fasting, and we still do to this day. We usually do not eat anything at all for breakfast, and we don't even call it breakfast anymore half the time, because we won't eat usually until noon, sometimes later. And we do that every single day. And then usually on Mondays, this is how strange we are, or at least it's our ritual. Every Monday we will either OMAD, we'll just eat one meal, or we will fast for the full day for 24 hours and do it 24 hours once a week. And then once a month, on the first day of the month, I will usually go or try to go either the same thing, OMAD to a complete fast for 1 to 2 days. So just extend it a little bit further, even sometimes I've even gone so far as 3 days. But but then once a year is when in January I try to do a full week if I can. 5 days is the last one I did, and I could have gone farther. I could have gone further. I actually felt really good, had a lot of energy, and just had played 4 days and 4 different concerts all in a row, and without eating, and I was great. I was really good. So I really want to encourage people, whether you're a carnivore on a carnivore diet, or a keto, or anything in that area that when you're dieting and you want to get good results. Intermittent fasting is a really good way to get started, because it had an enormous effect on my life and our dieting, and it really is easier to do. Fasting is a little difficult. Staying firm and not eating is tougher than many would think. If you haven't done it, give it a try, but start slow. But it's not an easy thing to do, especially after 3 days. But you know what? I take that back. Not especially after 3 days. For me, it's more like the leading up to 3 days. So day 1, 2, and 3 are pretty tough. But usually by the time you get past day 5 or day 3, some of that goes away, and it starts to get easier and easier. It did for me. I know everybody's different, but it did for me. So that's a big part of it. So I wanted to say, for those that suggested fasting, you're absolutely right. Fasting is definitely something to do, especially if you don't have any resources or anything available to you at the time. The other one, Crash suggested fishing, and you're right about that too. I live at the beach. Right over this wall right there is a surfing cove and a beach, and it's pretty cool. But that's, the funny thing about it is that I suck. I am not a fisherman. Although I've lived on the ocean my entire life. I'm a California boy, but I've been raised right on the ocean for the most part, from young, surfing and that kind of stuff as a young kid, to being a commercial diver, an urchin diver, sea urchins. And but the funny thing is that I spearfish and I dive for urchins and that kind of thing. But when it comes to just, throwing a line in, I really don't have any skills, nor do I know exactly how to use this. My grandfather Popo taught me how to fish when I was 6, 7 years old, something like that. But I pretty much haven't fished since then. That's the thing. And so I'm going to learn how. I am blessed to have good friends. We're blessed to have you. We have been given this pole. Yes, this pole right here, we have been given as a gift with lures and a whole tackle box full of stuff that I'm going to figure out how to use. And then we have another pole that was a friend of ours that one of our neighbors gave us to use to try out. So here we are. So we are going to become fishermen, because you know why? You're absolutely right, Crash. To live on here and not fish is ridiculous. I'm a terrible fisherman because I took my father-in-law, let me see, was that like 4 years ago? I chartered a boat and took my father-in-law out in San Felipe, Baja, Mexico to go fishing. And in San Felipe, they have a fish called the croaker, and it's called that reason because of its croaking sound that it makes when it's dying. And they were throwing that thing in the boat, and it was laying and the first fish that we pulled out did that, and I was like, forget it. I am not going to sit around and just listen to these things suffer. So I'm very sorry. And nor am I going to sit and watch you pound them or beat them with a stick or anything like that. So I really, and that's pretty sad coming from a commercial fisherman or a diver and somebody that would spearfish, but I don't know, it's just a different feeling altogether for me. And so I asked him, I go, hey, Dad, would you mind if we just kind of cruise around the coast and check things out? And he was cool with it. So I'm not really, I'm a really horrible, I guess in that sense, I'm a terrible carnivore, because we've had to dispatch some of our roosters, and it has an emotional effect on me. I really just, taking life is tough. However, giving life is wonderful, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to do with the fish that I catch. I am decided that I'm going to feed my cats and my dog and even my chickens with the fish that I catch. And for me, that is worth it. We're getting ready to go on a tour. We're doing a 21-day or 20-something tour. We're going all the way down the Baja Peninsula, starting in Rosarito this coming next Saturday, and then San Felipe, and then we're heading on down. Mulegé, Punta Chavato, Cabo San Lucas, San Jose del Cabo, the whole peninsula. And we got about, like I said, we got more than 15, 18 shows or something like that. So I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you so much for supporting this channel and for supporting us like you have. Really, really dig it. We're going to do a whole lot more. You're absolutely right about fasting. I think fasting is fabulous. I think fasting is the answer for a whole lot of people. I think fasting does some wonderful things for you, especially if you can stick with it long enough to get the real benefits like autophagy. And autophagy is just basically a fancy Greek word for to eat yourself, because after a certain period of time, of not eating, your body will start to eat itself. And by that, it'll eat bad cells and old cells and that sort of thing. But what happens is, what's so wonderful about it is, after you start to replenish again, it replenishes those cells and you feel rejuvenated and new, and that's the way I felt. So I will continue to do that. I suggest anybody that hasn't done it that they do it, because waiting till noon to eat is nothing. And Crash and Burn, you're absolutely right. It was silly not to have been fishing all this time. And we're going to take your advice and start fishing right away. So there's a little Sweet Sixx for you, and we got some more chicken stuff coming. Our hens are getting up there. We're getting a lot more now, and it's all starting to happen. It's really, really cool, man. I got to tell you, being a carnivore and going out to the coop and getting my own eggs, and we eat a ton of them. And now and it's been a while since we have had enough eggs from our own coop that we could feed ourselves, because as carnivores, we eat a ton of eggs. We had 10 eggs this morning for breakfast. So it's a lot of eggs. So So I just want you to know that, and so I'm really very happy to have those chickens and those eggs. I'm very happy now to have some fishing poles that I can go fishing. I'm very happy to have you paying attention and listening, and for those that have helped us out, we really appreciate that much. And that's it. So yes, fasting's fabulous. Fishing's gonna be fabulous. Being a carnivore is the greatest thing, pretty much, other than my children and my wife. The greatest thing that I've done, because it altered my life in the most positive way, more so than anything else that I've ever done physically or ever. I mean, carnivore was the solution. It saved my life. And with the help and good ideas from you guys, we're just gonna keep on trucking, keep on making music, because music and meals heal, baby. So thank you guys so much. Subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment, you know, all that stuff you're supposed to do. Do it if you feel right and it feels good, just do it. All right, we'll talk to you later, and I mean it this time. Bye.